Hello everybody, and welcome to New Earth TV Live, episode number 31. Yes, we are 31 episodes in right now, so it's awesome. So I want to welcome you all, once again, to another episode. I'm looking forward to today's broadcast. Next week, we're going to be doing empathic interfacing live, right? So as I've talked about the last few days, I got some debris on my shirt here for some reason. As I've been talking about the last few days, again, I'll be concluding my channeling journey with Adronis, and basically all channeling all together after August 31st. That will also include the Akashic Records as well too. So I wanted to do one more empathic interfacing live before that time. So that is going to be happening next week. Okay, so next Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It will not be New Earth TV Live, but it will be empathic interfacing live with Athena, right, from the the Delphi civilization. I went blank there for a second. Brain fart. So that is going to be happening next Friday. So I'm looking forward to that, bringing in Athena, and also Rayar will be coming in for a Language of Light transmission as well too. So please tune into that. It's going to be a really exciting episode. So we're going to go ahead and get into some announcements. Here we go. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, the Body Deck Special Edition is still available. We should be getting the printed version here probably around the time of August. There's a bit of delays right now because of just the way the posts are around the world right now. So I'm just waiting to hear from them. They usually let me know about a week or so before the printed edition of the special edition comes out. So I'm hoping to hear from them hopefully by next week. But as they come out, like I said, I'm thinking this will probably be an August launch for everybody who has pre-ordered right now. So again, the Body Deck Special Edition is available. Okay, actually we're past the July 16th now. But anyways, you can go to healingcodecards.com to pre-order now, the Body Deck Special Edition, and of course you can look into the expansion pack that is also available on the special edition page, which contains the 8 extra cards that you see here. So go ahead and check out healingcodecards.com for more information. Okay, and Adronis Q&A Forum, episode number 3. This is happening this Sunday. Okay, this Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern is the next episode. So again, this is where you can ask personal or general questions to Adronis. Today, I'm probably not going to bring Adronis in that much. It has to be kind of for big questions, right? Because I'm saving a lot of the good questions here for the Q&A forum, all right, this Sunday. So if you do have a question, I think if it's really good for Adronis, then I'll probably bring him in. But again, a lot of the Q&A that we're going to do today is going to just be between me and you guys, all right? So again, check out the 3rd episode of the Q&A forum this Sunday, July 25th. And you can go to newearthteachings.com to register. Just click on this poster that you see here on the page, and you can go and you can register there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and get started with today's broadcast. Now, the first thing I wanted to do as well, too, is I wanted to actually share something that I wrote on Facebook not too long ago. It was actually on July 21st, so just 2 days ago. And it was a very important message. It's a message that's been getting around social media quite a bit because I posted on Facebook. I also posted it on Telegram as well too. So my Telegram group is also available, right? You guys can find the link to the Telegram group that is in the video description. Go ahead and check that out. Now, it's important to remember that my Telegram group is an apolitical group, right? So we don't basically share any kind of political information, which is great. It's a breath of fresh air. And that's the only group that does that. I don't mind if we talk about politics on here. I don't mind if we talk about politics on Facebook or anything of that nature. But when it comes to the Telegram group, it's completely apolitical. And that's why it just feels so freeing to be there. So go ahead and check out the Telegram group, and you can check it out for free and post there. We got a really good community there. But anyways, I wanted to share this message because this is kind of an essence of what the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to be like, right? So the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to be replacing the Earth Intelligence Report. I'm going to be doing one more Earth Intelligence Report in August. After that, the Earth Intelligence Report is going to transform, and it's going to be referred to as the Infinite Intelligence Report. So I'm just going to read out the post that I put on July 21st. It was a message from Spirit while I was meditating. So I was going into meditation, and as I'm doing a lot of work with self-inquiry, my mind just goes completely blank. And then I'm basically just being guided to go to these particular forms of events and agendas relating to what's happening pertaining to the transitional agenda taking place on the earth right now. So I'm just going to read that out, and then we're going to go into healing and Q&A, okay? So here's what I wrote. A message from Spirit while I was meditating tonight, July 21st. Know that what is happening right now is a great purging and great cleansing leading to the transition of the corrupt from the earth. This is a battle that has been ensuing between the divine and the corrupt is already dead in the eyes of the divine. It has been willed. The husk of all that is corrupt has already been slain. The carcass of shadow has been impaled by the light, and will never recover from this. Those that have stood against the divine will are already dead, and you simply see the transition of that happening right now. Their spirits will be collected and reharvested for them to continue to learn to serve the divine. Whoever doesn't serve wanders from death to death until they know God. For the one that does have eternal life no longer lives in samsara. Do not give in to despair, nor involve yourself emotionally investing your fears into that which you can't control. Those who are to act during this time have already received the call. They are the soldiers, the warriors, the healers, the teachers, the protectors, the leaders. They are already acting to fulfill the will that will lead to the end of the corrupt. Do not invest your energies into the transition occurring right now. You are leading with your mind and not with your heart. You will get lost doing that, and you will only see what is happening on the surface. To live like this is to lose yourself. Come out of that delusion. Those who see with an ego will be fated by it. Those who see with their heart will know what is transpiring now, and through the call of their heart they will act, or they will stand aside and let what needs to occur. If you cannot read this with your heart, you will not understand. Worrying and procrastinating through the delusion of fear only keeps you in the drama of what you think is happening. And what you think is happening through the ego is not what's happening. Don't invest your energies if you do not see what is truly taking place during this final battle between the corrupt and the divine. The corrupt has already been defeated. You are simply seeing the result of this and the effect of it now that will subside in the months to come. If you cannot know this through your heart, step aside and do no harm. If you act with ego, you will drown in the drama of despair that is happening. This can only be understood truly with an open heart. A truly remarkable world is coming. It will be made for those whose hearts are open. They are the peacekeepers and listeners of the language of love. Those will be your leaders to come. See this with eyes in the heart, and hear with eyes in the heart. And you will know this. Humankind, children of the divine, will have the keys to this world handed to them, as it's being taken away here and now from the previous tenants that lived in lies. Hold your hands out, take those keys, because those with pure hearts will be the holders of them in love and blessings. Okay? So that is just like a sample of what the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to be like. Okay? So again, we're looking at something way more profound, right? It's coming directly from Spirit and doing what I can to interpret it as this comes through. So I basically meditate on a lot of these topics, these subjects, these agendas that are happening around the world, and then the information flows in, and then I create a post about it, or in this particular way, I'll be creating a kind of like an article about it, and that will be the Infinite Intelligence Reports. So this is something that's far more grand, far more powerful. Like I said, that's not really an episode of Infinite Intelligence Report, but that's giving kind of like the essence of what it's going to be like. All right. So I'm looking forward to presenting that again in September. September is when the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to be coming out. So you can go on Facebook, you can go on Telegram, you can see that post. You have to kind of scroll up a little bit through Telegram. So we're getting new posts there every day. But nonetheless, that is what was shared by me through Spirit. Spirit was just basically showing me all these things. And basically, I was getting visions as well, too, as I was seeing it. I was just seeing it's like looking at an old pillar of the corrupt and just seeing it crumble and fall and seeing new roots basically sprouting up as well, too, in its place. Right, so that is exactly what's happening right now. A lot of people are concerned about what's taking place, right? Is there all this vaccination agenda and all this mask agenda and all this stuff, what's happening? I said, guys, just let it. Just let it. It's not going to go anywhere. Everybody who has been called, everybody who's heard the call, so to speak, is already doing all the work that needs to be done behind the scenes for this to fully be dismantled, right? That's what's happening. Right now, we're just seeing the transitional effect. Well, Brad, why is there a transitional effect? Because we're in physical reality. We're in a solid, dense reality. It's the most dense. And so it takes the most time to fully see these effects take root, right? But that is exactly what's happening. I would say that this has already taken very deep root, and that we're now just seeing the upliftment of all those roots, all those seeds that have been planted, that we have personally planted over the many years, now starting to sprout up and seeing these incredible things rise. So again, it's kind of like if we look at sidewalk, right? And we see that there's a lot of cracks within the sidewalk, and we're seeing nature coming up. We're seeing these plants. We're seeing these weeds coming up, so to speak. That's showing our resilience, right? The concrete that is never being maintained again is going to basically just crack itself up. And now nature is going to start sprouting through the concrete. We're going to see grass. We're going to see weeds. We're going to see plants. Right, we're going to have all of this uprising, so to speak, of the new earth that is taking place right now. So again, I go on social media, and I see people again just panicking and fearful and saying, we got to stand up and we got to do this and we got to do that. Just let everything naturally happen as it is. When you check in here, right, this is what's going to tell you everything. That's exactly how I'm able to share all this, right? It's not coming from in here. It's not coming from within the brain. It's not coming through the ego, right? Because that doesn't know what's going on. It draws conclusions, right? If we look at everything that's going on in the world, we start turning on the television, we start going to websites, we start listening to experts in that sense. We're listening to this. We're not listening to this, right? This is what tells you the whole thing. This is telling you what's going on. It's a transitional effect. Or Brad, what are you saying? That the vaccine agenda is not going to last? It's exactly what I'm saying. And within the next few months, it's not going to last. There will be people in that sense who have been vaccinated, but nothing in regards to these imposings of rules are going to last. They're going to fall apart. What is going to happen is there's going to be a lot more replacement with alternative treatments, right? People who have coronavirus fears will actually start to see that there's going to be new alternatives that are going to come in, that are going to be a campaign to replace this experimental vaccination agenda, right, that's taking place. So all of that is going to crumble. This is basically what I'm receiving. This is what I'm feeling from the heart, right? Just very similar to what I wrote about that post a couple days ago, right? Everything is falling apart. The corrupt who have already done this are basically already dead. What that means is that in spirit, the decision has already been made that they're going to leave this earth, right? Some of them by their own hands, some of them by others. But nonetheless, that's already happening. So, like I said, there's not really that much of a quote-unquote dark force left, right? The dark players are in very small percentages, and they are so frantic, they know that their time is at an end, that they are going to, they're just cracking under the pressure, right? It's like that old man that's on life support that's trying to find a gun, right? And he's just shooting wildly throughout the entire room, right? Just don't go in the room. He runs out of bullets. And before he knows it, he has that cardiac arrest, and he's as stiff as a board. That's exactly what's happening right now, just through an analogy like that, right? They're shooting wildly. They don't even know what they're doing. They are completely making these decisions out of fear. They're just trying to go through their playbook and say, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. There's no imagination. The funny thing about all this, guys, is you can tell that everything that represents these dark players, they are being completely controlled by artificial intelligence, okay? This is all AI. This is nothing that is human. Because when you look at this, this is again telling you that as soon as you see these plans about what they're doing, and you look really deep inside about this, about these corrupt agendas, it's all artificial intelligence. It's all AI plan. There's no form of imagination whatsoever. They're just going through a rule book, right? And that is really what's happening, right? So, like I said, this is going to take a few months for it to really play itself out, because I said this is a chess game, right? It's like we're just living in a very big, 5D chess game where all of these pieces need to be strategically placed together so that, again, the crumbling of the old can fall all together. It's a chess game. They're still trying to play chess, right? Most of their pieces have been taken off the board right now, and I think all they have is a couple pawns and the king left, right? And here's the other side, right? The counter forces, as I call it. We can call it the alliance. We can call it the white hats. I'm calling it the counter forces, right? And they have most of their pieces intact. And they're surrounding it, right? The king has maybe about 2 or 3 pawns around him, and now they're just about to be taken down. They're basically put in the corner of the board, so they're panicking. We gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta have this, we gotta do that. We gotta try and manipulate food shortages. We gotta try and think that food shortages are happening, right? A lot of this is more manipulation than actuality, right? They will say anything they can on your mainstream media news, on websites, to create fear, to try and create control. They said because this is what they think is going to stop everything, right? The more fear we try to pump into the planet, the more people will stop trying to resist us. Are you kidding me? That's actually just what's causing them to pick up a shovel and now start to dig out more of the grave that they're putting in. Their grave right now is so deep, it's almost like a bottomless pit, because that's exactly what they're doing. They think that if they use all this aggression, all this violence, all this fear, all this manipulation, all this control, that people are going to stop opposing them. Are you kidding me? That's how stupid they've gotten, right? This is artificial intelligence. This is AI, right? It would not surprise me if a lot of the higher-ups that remain are basically AI prophets, that they're basically just AI puppets in that way. They have no imagination. All they're using is code logic. All they're using is just the agenda playbook that they're trying to go through like an instruction manual, right? Okay, about to lose everything. What does it say in this paragraph? Okay, make everybody in fear. That's all they know how to do. That is that's their whole demise. That's their whole thinking. If I just get people to panic, if I just get a bunch of fear, if we just start using our mainstream media news, which by the way is going to be recycled here very, very soon as well too, then hey, we'll get people to stop bothering us. We'll get people to stop being defiant with us. We'll get 100% of the population to be vaccinated. No, you guys barely have 10% of the population vaccinated right now. That's about it, right? So there's a 90%, right? We're looking at many, many billions of people that are not, and they're all standing up. Everybody is coming together. That is the entire purpose of this transitional agenda right now. This is why Adronis and I have said about 2021 being the year of transition, right? It's the year of death. There's going to be tragedy because that's what Great Awakening is. It's basically showing you these horrific things. It's showing you these unbelievable things that seem terrifying. But how do you bring security together? You work together. You meet other people. You see these groups coming together. You see these gatherings coming together, and now you're being a part of it. And now you're not scared anymore because so many people have great information that are coming together organically, right? And now you're part of this organic unit. And now the unit starts to grow and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's only terrifying when you think you're seeing this all by yourself and you're seeing it with an ego and you're just seeing it with these two eyes. You're not looking through here, right? When everybody gets together, this is the entire lesson. This is what the universe is trying to tell you. If we were to show you the most horrible, despicable things that humanity can do with itself that's been happening under your feet, would you all get together and oppose this and usher in a new planet? Of course we would. Well, that's exactly what we're doing, right? That's the psychology behind all of this, right? This is why it's been said in that post, right? Do not look at this with the ego. You have to see this with the heart. This is all part of a transitional time. Everything relating to the corrupt is going to be laid bare. That old pillar is going to crumble itself down entirely. And now we're going to see a whole new world unfold. And we're really going to see a lot of that as we get into 2022, right? I'd say the second quarter of 2022, around that time, right? So it's letting us know that there's a transitional time that is going to take effects. It's going to culminate, and I feel again around the end of this year, right? And a little bit into the early part of 2022. But as we get into the early mid part of 2022, we're going to see a lot of major direction change, right? Even astrologically speaking, that the whole idea of the corona situation, the entire of the corona agenda, is basically going to culminate no later than April of 2022. That is even being supported astrologically speaking as well too. So that's great to see also. So again, guys, I just wanted to share this with you because, like I said, it's pretty much what the entire internet is talking about right now. So I might as well just throw in my 2 cents and share that insight as well too. Anyways, we'll pick up the vibe now. We're going to go into a healing practice, all right? So we're going to do some chakra clearing, and then we'll get into a couple healing requests, and then we'll get into some Q&A as well too, okay? So I invite you all to join me for the chakra clearing. I'm just going to take off my headphones here because I am going to be plugging the ears. Move some of these wires around too. There we go. All right. So for those of you who have tuned in, who are quite regular here, you already know what's going to be taking place. I apologize for my ticker. I think I need to update it. My ticker is kind of out of date right now. So again, the Adronis event is happening this Sunday. It's not July 11th, so in case people are keeping track. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably just take off the ticker for now since it's kind of out of date. There we go. There, full video. Okay, so we're going to get right into healing requests afterwards, guys. So if you do have questions, if you have requests for healing, just put it on the chat, and we're going to get into that right after the chakra clearing here. All right? So place our hands upon the center of our chest. Take a deep breath in. Okay, and we're going to start at the root chakra. Okay, so we're going to see the color red within our mind, and that is connected directly to the genitals, connected to the gonads, the reproductive system, the testes, the ovaries. Okay, so just seeing the color red within your mind, and we're going to plug our ears, and when we do an Om chant, we're focusing on the sound, because that is the vibration, right? And you're imagining you're vibrating the root chakra through that vibrational sound that you feel as you plug your ears. Okay, so deep breath in. Okay, moving up now into the sacral chakra or navel chakra, which is colored orange. Okay, and that's connecting to the tissues of the testes, ovaries, representing the Leydig and Hylar cells. Okay, Leydig cells for males, Hylar cells for females. Okay, so we're just connecting to that tissue of the Leydig, Hylar cells, seeing the orange ray within our mind. Plugging our ears, deep breath in. Moving up now into the solar plexus chakra, colored yellow, connected to the adrenal glands. Seeing the color yellow within your mind, taking a deep breath in, plugging your ears. Okay, moving up now to the heart chakra, colored green, connected directly to the thymus gland. All right, so that butterfly-shaped gland within your body. Again, if you're not too sure where the thymus gland is, just tell yourself, I'm focusing on the thymus gland. Your attention will know where to go. All right, subconscious knows exactly where it's going. So taking a deep breath in, seeing the color green, plugging your ears. Okay, moving on now to the throat chakra, colored ice blue or aqua, representing that of the thyroid gland. Okay, taking a deep breath in. Okay, moving up now to the third eye chakra, colored ocean blue or indigo color, and just focusing on the pineal gland, taking a deep breath in. Okay, finally moving on to the crown chakra, but we're not focusing on the top of the head, we're focusing on the pituitary gland, colored violet. All right, taking a deep breath in. Okay, and so that is us calibrating, clearing the chakra centers. All right, so just take a moment, just take a slow, deep breath in, deep breath out. And if you followed along, you're feeling how cleansed you feel inside just by doing that Om chant. Now that Om chant can be done a multitude of different times, right? I'm just doing it one time just to demonstrate the practice. If you feel like you want to do a repetition of 3 Om chants within a particular chakra center and then moving up through the respective chakra centers as well too, that's great. That will bring about a much more potent clearing of your chakra centers, okay? So a lot of people ask me about clearing the chakra centers, and this is what I say is one of the best things to do, is Om chanting into them, just as you witnessed here. So give that a try, keep working with it, and make it repetition. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times per chakra center, and move your way up. All right, and see how you feel. Great. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me with that. So now we're going to go ahead and go into Q&A. Oh, sorry, not Q&A. Requests, healing requests. I got to get with the program here. All right. So I'm just going to go through the chat here to see if there's any requests for healing right now. Then we're going to get into Q&A. So if you guys do have healing requests, either for yourself or for somebody else, you can simply make that request. If it is for somebody else, see if you can share with me their name or their association to you. It could be, if my name's Joe, okay, this is for my best friend, Bob, right? That's great. Or it's for my mom, or it's for my dad, etc. That's fine too. All right. So let me just go down the list here and see what we got. Okay, this is from Son of Superman. Hello, Son of Superman. Say hello to your father, Kal-El, for me. Son of Superman says, Brad, can I get a healing for the little bit of anger that is still hanging around me? I've done a lot of work. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, thank you for the contribution, Deanie, so I'll get to you in just a moment. Sorry, Son of Superman says, I've done a little bit of work on it, but find the last little bit tough to heal. Okay, no problem. We can certainly work on that. So again, this is where we're going into the realignment method, right, or the thought alignment. So it has 2 names to it. One is realignment method, RAM, or thought alignment. Okay. So all I want you to do right now, Son of Superman, I'll just call you SOS, if that's all right, is just placing your hands upon the center of your chest. Okay. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And I want you to imagine either one of 2 things in front of you. Either 1, a crystal ball, or number 2, a screen, right? Whichever you prefer, right? You can use. So through that crystal ball, through that screen, I want you just to feeling within yourself. It's like we're taking a spirit camera and we're putting it into our mind. And we're just seeing what all this anger here represents, okay? So I want you to look at that last little bit of anger that you have. Okay, and I just want you to project that into the crystal ball. Project that into your screen. And I just want you to see it for what it is, not judging it, not changing it, not altering it in any way, just seeing the anger as it is within yourself. You're just sitting with it for a minute, okay? Just acknowledging that it is there within your body. Okay, and now I just want you to clean the slate. Okay, so this is why I just do that gesture. It's good to do that physical gesture because you feel it, right? You're cleaning the slate, right? So now that crystal ball, that screen, is taken out of the picture now. So now that we know what we're working on, we're just going to hold our hands like this, and I want you to hold your physical hands out just like this, okay? Like the chi ball, right? And you're basically seeing this ball of light coming in between the hands. And now I want you to imagine as if your mind is completely absent of the emotion of anger altogether, okay? You are neutralizing that thought. You are neutralizing that emotion by seeing yourself anew, all right? You're seeing yourself in this new body. You're seeing yourself in this new form, in this new mind, okay? Completely devoid of that anger. So you're seeing yourself, for example, smiling. You're seeing yourself laughing. You're seeing yourself doing the opposite of what the anger is telling you to do. Okay? So you're seeing your entire being, your body, your mind, your soul, completely absent of that anger. And the reason why we're expanding the thought ball like this is that we're putting all of our feelings, all of our emotions, all of our thoughts that represent the new you. Okay? This ball contains all of the commands, the new programming that you are putting into yourself, representing the new you that is completely devoid, completely absent of that anger altogether. What does the son of Superman look like when he is devoid of this anger problem, of this conflict issue? And you're just widening that ball, and you're seeing it happen right now. Everything that's in the ball right now, you're seeing it as already happening, already happening, already happening. Okay? So I want you just to hold that ball there as you're putting all of that intention there. Okay? And I will now connect with Spirit. I command God's Spirit Light to apply the command of SOS directly to him. Apply. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so SOS. This is what I suggest to you now. Just take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and just focus of all that energy coming into yourself, crystallizing. All right. So remember, 99.9% of this effect is based upon you. It's up to you. All right. So it is through your trust, your faith, right, your knowingness that you said, this is absolutely the new me, right? Brad, just give the command to Spirit, put it into me, reflect it back to me. This is how I'm choosing to live. And that neutralizes the anger, just like that, right? So this works with the physical and the emotional issues of yourself, is we're doing thought alignment. Can I see myself as a brand new person that is completely absent of the anger or absent of a physical condition or anything of that nature? If the answer is yes, then there you go. That's going to reflect back to you. That's all Spirit is doing. It's just poof, let it be done. Let it be so. Okay? So continue to work with that. Right? I'd like you to just continue to work with that every day, and you have the authority to do so. Right? Seeing yourself in that thought bubble, seeing this new person, Spirit, make it happen. Right? And that's all you're doing. Okay? Let me know how you do. If you want to keep in contact with me about how you're doing, drop me an email. Guys, don't be shy in dropping me an email, okay? I just want to hear back from you guys, making sure everything's going good. Okay, info@newearthteachings.org, all right? Or go to my website, newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, drop me an email, let me know how you're doing. Don't be shy, I'm happy to hear from you, okay? Thank you, SOS. All right, let's go down here. We had a donation here from Denise. Okay, Denise says, I need healing for multiple wasp stings. Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay, I've had wasp stings. They're not fun. depending upon the type of wasp as well too. All right, hopefully it wasn't a murder hawk, or what do you call it? What do you call it? The spider, the tarantula hawks? Ugh, my God. Hopefully it wasn't those ones. Anyways, yes, we can do some healing for multiple wasp stings. So Denise, it's the same practice, just as we did with SOS, all right? So what I want you to do, Denise, close your eyes, placing your hands upon the center of your chest. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. And again, we're seeing a screen or a crystal ball directly in front of us. And you're just feeling, you're just acknowledging all of that pain within your body. You're just acknowledging the pain as it is right now. And you're just seeing it there, right, on the screen or on the crystal ball. And I want you just to acknowledge that for a moment. Okay, we're going to clear the slate. Now again, if you're already going through that buzzing pain, that strong pain that's already there, again, this is where, in that sense, we are leaving the body. We're imagining that we're just looking at ourselves through the dream body or through the astral body, okay? And the astral body is now looking at a brand new body directly in front of them, okay? So for Denise, you're looking at this body in front of you, your new body, and you're seeing it completely devoid of any pain, okay? Not just with wasp stings, all right? But it's also about any other pain that's in your body as well, too, that you can integrate, that you can put into this intention, right? So you have that thought ball right in front of you, and you're just closing your eyes. Again, just imagine yourself in the dream body. The dream body is painless, does not feel the physical pain, right? So put yourself in the dream body. Just focus on the lightness of your being, right? You know what it feels like to be in a dream body. You may have had a vivid experience of what it's like to be in a dream and feel that you are weightless. Okay, that's what you're doing. And you're just feeling that thought ball. How does this new body feel? Absent of the wasp stings, absent of any other pain or discomfort in the body, right? Feeling your happiness, feeling your joy, as if you woke up right now and your body is completely pain-free. Your body is absent of any harsh conditions physically, right? You're feeling that now. You're putting that intention, saying, this is what I feel, this is what I feel, right? I am absolutely 100% convinced that this is my new body, right? I'm putting all of my feelings, all of my thoughts, all of my intentions, make this real, okay? You got to do that because you're the 99.9% healer here, all right? So absolutely convinced that this is my new body, and as soon as Spirit brings it back to me, I'm in that new body. Do I know this? Do I know this? Oh yeah, I do. Oh yeah, I do. Good. You're set. All right? Okay, so Denise, holding that thought ball there, I will now connect with Spirit. I command God's Spirit light to apply Denise's command back to her. Apply. Okay, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, Denise, let me know how you're feeling. All right, so just take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Once again, grab a glass of water if you need to, which is a good reminder for me. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat, or again, if you want to, let me know by email or through the contact page on Newer Teachings. Feel free to do so. Okay, thank you for your donation as well, too. I appreciate it. Okay, we just have one more contribution request here from Lotus. Lotus says, healing request, please. I've been having excruciating migraines back to back. Thank you so very much. Okay, sorry to hear that, Carrie. Yes, we can certainly work with that now. After this, we're going to go into Q&A. Okay, so we're just doing these 3 healing requests today. So yes, Lotus, what I'd like you to do right now, just placing your hands upon the center of your chest, taking a deep breath in and out. Okay, closing your eyes. And again, either seeing a crystal ball or a screen directly in front of yourself. And I want you just to look at those events, right, within your mind where you've had those back-to-back migraine hits, okay? We're not too concerned about the cause. As soon as we go into the cause of something, we're going into a mind story, okay? We don't care about the cause. All we're doing right now is we're just acknowledging, yes, that Lotus has back-to-back migraines. That's all we need to know. I'm not interested in the cause. You shouldn't be either, okay? Just looking at that on the screen or in the crystal ball. Seeing all these migraines that you've had, this is just basically bringing yourself into a state of acknowledgement, right? I acknowledge that I have this. Good. Now we clean the slate, okay? So again, if your physical body is too much to stay into, right, because you're still getting that pain, go into your dream body, right? That's what you're telling your mind right now. Go into the dream body. Be as light as a feather. Okay? And again, we're looking at that thought ball right now. Because here's the thing. In order for us to basically get past the pain, we want to do one of two things. If our body is still in pain, we want to do it just like this, right? Going into the astral body. The second thing we would need to do, if that's too much, basically wait for the pain to subside. Because if the pain is too much, right, you're not going to be able to concentrate. And you want to be able to concentrate with this. So do one of those two things. So astral body, or wait for the pain to subside, find that sweet moment, and then do this. Okay, so if you have to go back to the recording and do it as well too with me, if your body's not in pain, then do that. Okay? Anyways, so again, holding that thought ball there. Okay, and I want you to feel your body completely absent of any migraines. Okay, I want you to feel, what does your body feel like when it is absent of any migraines or any other pain in the body? I'm looking at a brand new, fresh body, completely absent of any of the current pains that I currently wield. Because the reason why these migraines keep coming back is because actually I feel I deserve them. Because I'm still attaching to the emotional situations, to the traumatic situations, to the intense situations of my life where I feel I deserve this. Right? You want to, again, like I said, you're cleaning the slate. You're wiping that old body clean. With the sweeping away of that old body goes your old thoughts, your old feelings, your old emotions, your old sensations, everything. Right? That body is thrown in the wastebasket. Okay? And we're replacing it with this brand new body. No migraines at all, period, ever again. No problems with any harsh feelings, harsh situations. I'm able to clear all that up. This is the new body, right? This is what I'm putting into the thought ball right now, right? And I see this as already happening. This is already happening. This is already happening. I'm completely absent of all of that, and I feel so refreshed. I feel so replenished to be in this new body. It feels amazing. It feels wonderful. It feels incredible. This is who I am. This is my new body. I'm so excited. I'm in this new body right now. That's what you want to put into the ball, right? That's what you're putting in there right now. You're seeing this huge thought ball. And 100% of your trust and acknowledgement of that new body is inside this ball. If it's not, it won't work. Okay? Get completely convinced. Know that this is your new body. All right, Lotus? So I want you to hold that thought ball there. Remember, 99% of the healing is you. Please remember this. Okay, I will now connect with Spirit. I command God's Spirit Light to apply Lotus's command directly to her. Apply. Okay, after that inhale, exhale. Carrie, go ahead and get I call you Lotus, but Lotus or Carrie, go ahead and grab a glass of water. Let me know how you feel afterwards, okay? This is it, guys, and you can continue to repeat this. You guys can do this along with me as well, okay? So even if I'm saying that this energy is coming to Carrie, right, for her situation, or Denise regarding her wasp stains, or SOS regarding his anger, okay? You guys can tap around in this at the same time, okay? Because what I'm doing, you guys can do, right? I'm not some special person that has some superpower that you guys don't have, okay? All I'm doing is I'm talking to Spirit, right? Spirit and I are one. And that's the same with you. Spirit and you are one, okay? So you're feeling that and say, okay, Spirit, reflect this back to me. If you are 100% convinced that that thought body is now your true physical body, it's going to be given to you. Okay. Now remember this, everybody. For those of you who have had all the healings through thought alignment or the realignment method, Spirit is doing you a favor. Okay. When you feel this applied to yourself and you feel, yeah, I feel a lot better. I feel happy, I feel joyful, the pain feels like it's subsided, great. Spirit has done you a favor. Now what we do, this is a law of the universe. Everybody has to pay attention to this. There is a law of equivalent exchange. Okay? So, when Spirit does you a favor, you need to do a favor back. Okay? And that favor is complimenting somebody. That favor is helping somebody out. That favor is doing a task for somebody. Something that you feel is equivalent to what you have received through the favor. It doesn't have to be towards me. It can be towards anybody in your life, right? Your family, your friends, a stranger on the street. Okay? Give back a favor that is equivalent to what you have received. If you don't, then basically this body is going to start wearing off. Because here's the thing, guys, and there's a lot of people like this in the spiritual movement. I'm not trying to zero anybody out, okay? But there are hoarders in the spiritual movement that basically want to get everything for free, snatch it, and run off with it, okay? And I've caught up with quite a few of these people, and they're in even greater disarray than when they first started, okay? You cannot be a hoarder and thinking that you're going to progress well, okay? You're going to turn miserable, right? This is why the people say, oh, I want everything for free. I want everything. Just give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. And they give nothing back, right? It's kind of like a vulture. I don't really work with those people anymore, but I used to, right? And I would catch up with them a little bit later on, and I'd see that they're doing even worse than when I first saw them because they hoard everything. They hoard and they hoard and they hoard and they hoard, and they give nothing back or very little back. And that is going to lead to misery. That is a rebound, okay? This is why it is good that people, again, who offer these services are doing it in regards to some form of exchange. It doesn't always have to come from money, but it can come through the idea of a gift, right? It can come through the idea of giving a service and then that person giving a service back. That's equivalence, okay? This is the first version of the EQ method. It was all based upon equivalence, right? If you have something fundamentally negative, you're transforming it with love energy, and that love energy is now taking that place, and now the negative energy can leave because the positive energy, the love energy, has been put in there to counteract the balance, okay? This is important that everybody look into this, right? We have a lot of hoarders in the metaphysical and the spiritual community. God, I see them a lot, right? And like I said, when I have caught up to some of them, they're just like, they're down in the dumps, they're horrible, they feel horrible inside, they're just trashing everybody because that's what they've got into. They become desperate, right? It's almost like looking at junkies, right? Or sometimes I could look into the idea of crackheads, right? Spiritual crackheads, spiritual junkies. Because again, they just get so much into hoarding everything. Just give me everything, just give us, blah, 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 and then they run away. And they don't do anything in return, right? And that is going to destroy you. Okay, that is an internal combustion that takes place. And you can see it. When you catch up to them a few weeks later, they're going through horrible experiences, right? I've seen quite a few of them like that. So please do not hoard. Okay, when you guys are getting these free healings, okay, from Spirit, not from me, but from Spirit, Spirit is doing you a favor. Please do a favor back for somebody, okay? Whoever it is in your life, right? If you have a friend who's going through a hard time, maybe you're going to offer them something. Maybe you offer them a gift. Maybe you sing them a song, whatever it is, right? You do something to give back. That is how life works. Do not hoard, because that becomes parasitical, right? Give back when someone is giving to you, right? Very important. We give, we receive, right? Very important. Equivalent exchange 101. And I've talked about that a lot in the past. So Denise, thank you very much. And Lotus, thank you very much as well too. So guys, we're done with healing right now. We're going to go into Q&A. Okay, so if you guys do have any questions for myself or for Adronis, like I said, I don't think I'm going to bring Adronis in today. It has to be a good question. Otherwise, I'll see if I can tackle your question myself. All right, because I'm more than capable of doing that. Adronis and I are pretty much on the same level. Right, that's why he's heading out after August 31st. Okay. So let me just go down the list here if we do have any questions. Okay. Okay, so some of you who says, I would like healing for a friend of mine or a family member of mine who got the jab, okay, go on to healingcodecards.com. Okay, go to healingcodecards.com and go to the free samples page. On the free samples page, you will see the biotoxin eliminator. Okay, so I want you to download that card, either have it on your phone or your tablet, or print it out on photo paper. Do not print it out in black and white. Do not print it out on ordinary printer paper. You have to print it out on photo paper and in the best quality that you can do. If you don't have the means for that, go to a print shop. Let them do it for you. All right? Do not blow up the image. Keep the image intact in its original size. Okay? So many people make that mistake. They show, hey, Brad, I did it, and then they're blowing it up in this gigantic 8x10. Like, no. You keep it in its original size, right? So if I'm basically showing you guys the card here, okay? This is the parasite eliminator, but see the size, okay? Needs to be in this size. It is not like this, okay? You're blowing it up, and that can affect the integrity of the codes, okay? You're basically scaling the picture. The scale gets, the picture gets bloated, right? And you're affecting the codes, and it may not work too well. Has to be in this size, okay? 100% behind that. So again, go to the free samples page, download the biotoxin eliminator, and again, if you already know how to use the cards, right, you can use the capture method with that. If you don't know what the capture method is, go on the tutorials page of the Healing Code Cards website, look at that video that says the capture method on it, okay, and use that. And just have a picture of your son, placing him down on the card, right, placing his picture down on the card, and just letting the card go to work on him. All right, you can even put a 20x amplifier if you have the body deck or the mind deck. All right, so again, guys, make an investment. Okay, there's a reason why the Healing Code cards cost as much as they do, because it's an investment, and they work. Right, so again, you're putting an investment down on something, and because it is priced at that value, because they're extremely valuable. I mean, I'm using them all the time, and they have made a major difference in my life. Okay, we're seeing testimonials of people that are using the Healing Code cards, right, on Amazon and on the Healing Code cards website. There have been people who have healed their asthma overnight with it. It's a person who, again, is nearly paralyzed, and he's seeing major improvement in the Healing Code cards that are helping him out, right? People who have had viruses in their body, seeing it cleared away. People who have had harsh emotional issues, using the mind deck, seeing it get cleared away. Okay, these work. They're great. So, but the whole idea is you want to be persistent with them. This is why I say just use the capture method. Just put a card down, put a picture on it, and just go about your business. Let it work with you 24/7. And now you're keeping track of yourself every day and say, oh yeah, like I feel really good. My vitality is coming back. My body feels great, right? I'm putting all these things down. And you're not dismissing everything else that you're doing, right? You're eating well, you're exercising well, you're taking good care of yourself. And the Healing Code cards are a continual complement with that, okay? So again, this is why they're priced at that. It is an investment that you're putting into yourself, because that's the value. If I basically gave away the Healing Code cards for free, guys, it would be unnoticed. The only ones that's basically going to get it are the hoarders. And that's not what I'm looking to do. I put that price tag there for a reason, because this is a very powerful investment, okay? And use it. And it's been like that for the past 2 years, since the body deck debuted. So invest in it. The body deck, the mind deck. Okay, the energy deck will be coming here very soon as well too. Before the end of the new year, I would say. Approximately, depending upon the mail. But invest in that. Okay, it's very, very important. So look into that, biotoxin eliminator. Okay, this is from OC. Adronis, what is the cause of blushing? What about those who have issues with blushing intensely for the smallest things? That's not really something that Adronis needs to come in for. Blushing, again, is just the idea of vital energy coming into the cheeks, right? When you're blushing, all of that energy, all of that pressure is coming into your face for blushing, right? It's that pressure of the blood. It's the blood flowing to your cheeks, right? Because if you're doing this, right, you're blushing, right? That energy is going right there. So energy is being directed to that expression, and the blood is circulating there. And now you're getting that blushing effect, right? So pretty simple science here. But nonetheless, thank you very much, OC, for your question. Okay, and thank you for your donation as well, too. I just said, what about those who have issues with blushing intensely for the smallest things? That's an emotional reaction. If you're just looking at the face of blushing, it's, oh, well, the person's blushing. Well, what is it that's happening behind the blush, right? It's emotions, guys, right? If I'm blushing, if a person compliments me very, very well, okay, maybe I'm blushing about something, right? It's their own emotional sensitivity that's at work, that therefore is expressing through their body, right? The feeling of blushing. Now, here's an interesting thing for you guys as well, too, to know as well. And this is even backed by Vedic science as well, too. Again, Vedic teachings. Our organs are not actually in the physical body. Our true organs, the subtle organs, are contained in the subtle body. Okay? The subtle body is actually what has the true blueprint of this physical body. Okay? This physical body is just a canvas. It's like molded clay, right? The Advaita Vedanta will talk about that even though you have a clay pot, that clay pot does not exist, but the clay does, right? It is the clay itself that exists. We basically just take that clay and we arrange it into a thought form, right? And that thought form becomes a physical pot. Well, it's the same thing with this physical body. This physical body, in essence, does not really exist. It is the product of a subtle body. The subtle body is actually what has all of the subtle organs. Everything that represents the makeup of this physical body is just an overlay of the subtle body. The subtle body has all the organs. The subtle body has all the systems pertaining to the body. This is again why when you are mentally and emotionally disturbed, when you are mentally and emotionally impaired, that again will affect the physical body, right? 90% of the injuries that we get are sustained mentally, emotionally, okay? We'll get some wear and tear over the physical body at times, right? If we basically had a knee injury when you were younger and you're constantly just walking everywhere, jogging everywhere, running everywhere, and now you're 45 years old, you're going to have some wear and tear on your body, okay? That doesn't mean that you're emotionally compromised, okay? It's just wear and tear. It's mileage on the physical clock. So we're just taking care of it, right? So not every single injury that you have is going to be based upon a psychological, emotional, mental degree. That's true, right? The physical body has limits. The physical body is a physical device. So again, like I said, if you're putting a lot of pressure on your walking, because I mean, I get that a lot, right? I've been walking for so long. And again, I can get little cramps in my ankle and my knee and so forth, my hip. But again, that has nothing to do with emotion. Okay, that is just the wear and tear of the body. So we're just maintaining it. We're taking care of it. Okay? But again, everything relating to the body physically, again, is all linked up. It's all, again, connected, interconnected together with the subtle body. The subtle body is what has all the organs. The subtle body is what has all of the systems, the bodily systems. Okay? So the more that you're actually taking good care of the subtle body, that is going to take care of 90%, over 90% of the situations occurring within the physical body. Keep the subtle bodies healthy. And that, again, is working with a healthy mind, healthy emotional state, healthy physical body. Overall, you're going to do well. Okay? Thank you very much for your question, OC. Okay, let's go down here a bit more. Okay. Okay, there's a question here about what's your view on birthmarks. Again, I'm not bringing Adronis in for that. Okay. Birthmarks all are based upon perspective, right? Different ways, different forms. It all depends, right? If there's basically a marking here, a lot of it can be something that's left over. It's like an imprint. It's a message, right? A lot of these birthmarks are kind of, again, kind of karmic messages in a bottle, right? There's a friend I know, again, who has had a really huge birthmark right up here in the near his heart, right? And that had to do with karmic degrees, so to speak, sympathetic resonance that went from lifetime to lifetime. So sometimes it all depends. So, oh, Brad, I got a mole here on my face. Is that a birthmark? So, well, it may just be a mole on your face, right? It may not have a particular story to it. Again, if we get too much into the stories, like I said, we're just playing around with the mind so much. But yes, it's fundamentally true that certain people can have birthmarks around the body. And when they learn to tap into it, they can see, okay, there's something about a broken hip that I had here at a time. Or I had somebody actually brand me with a branding iron, and this is actually the effect of having a birthmark there. So it's all just imprints of mind, right? It's something that has been neglected and carries forward lifetime after lifetime. Some of them, okay? Not all of them. Like I said, if you have a little mole on your face and that's been there since birth, that doesn't mean that, again, it's something that has to relate to a story. It's just the idea that that is how your body is currently integrated in that way. But some of them can certainly have those remains, those neglected degrees of emotional states that have carried forward lifetime after lifetime. Okay? So thank you for that question, Matthias. Okay. Okay, here's one from Sean Ryshak. Hi, Brad. Could you tell us what purpose our dreams while sleeping have in our lives? Much appreciated. Well, again, it's all mind, right? So when we're looking at dreams and stuff, really all you're doing is you're just going into the makeup of your mind, right? If you're thinking so deeply that you got messed with because you had a financial blunder, right? All of a sudden you'll notice that when you go to sleep at night, it's all about finances, right? You feel like you lose all your money in your bank account. You feel like you had a big bag of money in your backseat of your car, and all of a sudden it's empty. And say, what's going on? What's happening here? What's happening here? What's the nature of these dreams? Well, were you focusing on money? Oh yeah, I mean, my money situation is pretty rough. I'm going through a harsh money situation. That's exactly why you're dreaming about it, okay? All these dreams is they're taking you into your psyche. They're taking you into the depths of the dreams to show you exactly on a much more larger scale, much more vivid scale, about what you're constantly putting your energy into. Your consciousness and its roots, as it were, is focusing on these degrees of the psyche. It's focusing on these degrees of the mind. And so you're going to start dreaming about it. Even if you're very happy, right? You feel really good. You had a wonderful day. You're just dancing a lot. Now, all of a sudden you go to sleep at night and you start dancing, or you're dancing on clouds. You're floating. You're feeling happy, right? Maybe you had the best sex of your life and you're floating in the air, okay? So again, it all relates to the subtle body. It all relates to the mind. It all relates to the psyche, okay? And again, as we dream about these things, they're just taking us on a tour, saying, well, if all of your focus of energy is contained upon this thought, then that's going to be the makeup of your dream. I mean, this happens all the time. If I'm ever obsessing over something, right, and I go to sleep, I jump right into that dream. And now that dream is telling me, okay, I'm obsessing over this thought. So it creates an entire world that's based upon that emotion, right? Now, the yogis will always tell you that the goal really is to have dreamless sleep. And also being very conscious when you are sleeping, right? If you are sleeping and you're having dreams, stay conscious, right? So you're going into a lucid dreaming state and you're bringing peace to the entire sphere of that dream state, because that dream state is just anchoring and magnetizing to all these different emotional states, traumas as well too, dense thoughts that you have within yourself. It's taking you on a tour of your own mind, and it's showing you this is what you're doing, right? You are creator. So understanding that you are the creator of your own dream plane, of the reality that you are experiencing right now, it's taking you on a tour. It's like all these pointed stars, right? Here's a really big star because this person's worried about money. Here's a really small star because this person's worried about sexual inadequacy, whatever it is. And they can interrelate and they can cross-connect and they can shift. And again, it's just bringing in all of this different dream phenomena that we are experiencing. But it all links in regards to thoughts, right? It's just like those stars in the sky. We're linking together. They can mesh together. They can crisscross together. And that's what we're dreaming about. Now, when you're going into, again, a lot of these deeper practices, right, working with a direct method like self-inquiry, you're stilling your mind. The mind is being completely stilled. And as you do this a lot more, you'll notice that as you go into sleep, you'll go into deep sleep, which means you'll just pass out and all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and it's 8 a.m. and you went to sleep at 11 o'clock. You were out for those 9 hours and you have absolutely no memory, no dreams whatsoever. Perfect, right? That is you going into the self, abiding in the self, I would say. You're abiding in the self because, again, the self has no image. The self has no impermanence. The self has no object to it. It is completely unfathomable. So when you just basically black out and you wake up the next morning, you have no memory about anything. Great. Fantastic. You abided in the self through sleep, I should say. No dreams. So look at it in that way, right? I can't spend too much time into it, but that is really, there really is no purpose to the dreams other than you showing yourself what is on your mind, right? Showing yourself what are your thoughts, What are your feelings? What are your emotions? What are you putting your energy into? And your dreams are just telling you that. And it's really just telling you, it's showing you all of this so that you can dissolve it. That's the dream language. You're seeing all these intense things happening in your dream as a means for, say, okay, I've acknowledged that. What was I running from? What was the fear? Well, there's the fear right there. It's manifested itself in dream form. It's a thought form. So now I can take that dream and I can look at it, again, acknowledge it, just like we did with the realignment method, and I can see it become neutralized because I'm putting something better in its place. Right? So that's one example. Thank you, Sean, for your question. Yeah, exactly. Guys, don't be shy. LOL. Very good. Okay, Son of Superman updates me, says, thank you very much, Brad. This is really going to help me. I needed this. Great. Let me know how you're feeling over time. Okay, give it a couple days. Let me know how you're feeling. Thanks again, SOS. Okay. Guys, we're done with healing requests right now. Okay. If you guys do want to look into more healing, you can look into the new EQ method that's coming. Okay. The new EQ method is coming on the 28th. Right. The new page is going to be coming up. This is where I'm going to be focusing a lot of my energy. A lot of my energy is going to be on the EQ method and the healing code cards. All right. So the EQ method, again, is such a powerful technique, and it's the brand new one. It's version 2. Okay. It is modeled very similarly to the self-inquiry method, to self-inquiry, but it's not self-inquiry. Right. They both basically self-inquiry and the EQ method lead to the same result, but they're different in their own way, right? Some people don't really understand self-inquiry. Even though, like I said, for me, when I first looked into self-inquiry, it was a little bit complicated. I had to look into it a little bit further before I snapped, say, oh, okay, I now understand what Ramana Maharshi is talking about here, about the I thought, about going to the source of the I, etc. But a lot of the layman's terms, for especially the Western minds, don't get it. That's why the EQ method is being created, okay? The EQ method, in its own essence, is the layman's version of the EQ of self-inquiry. Right? Very simple, because we work with the mind. When we're looking at self-inquiry, we don't really work with the mind other than going to the I thought. Right? When we go into the EQ method, you are actually working with the mind that pays homage to the first version of the EQ method, and then from that point forward, we're going beyond the mind. Okay, so I'll be talking more about that as it debuts here on the 28th of July. So if you want to already pre-order a session for that, you can do that on New York Teachings right now. You'll see the first version of the EQ method page that's up. You can order it, and again, it'll go towards the second version that will be available July 28th. It's really amazing, guys. It's a game changer. The people that I'm already doing trial work on, right, who volunteered, all of them have had profound changes. So it's great. So I'm looking forward to debuting that on the 28th. Okay, just go down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Clear Mind. Clear Mind asks, why does the pineal gland or brain calcification happen and how to reverse it? Well, a lot of toxins. There's a lot of toxins in the body. Guys, we're breathing in toxins all the time. The earth, unfortunately, is very messy through human activity. Okay, we're basically looking at base metals that are being breathed through the air. We're looking at pollutants. We're looking at toxins. We're looking at poisons in the food. We're seeing that the body is being contaminated, is being polluted in that way. And all of that, yes, can lead into calcification. It can lead to toxic heavy metals as well, too. Not just calcification. Toxic metals can get stuck in the pineal gland, right? Toxic metals can get stuck in areas of the brain, okay? We got to flush that out. We got to get all that debris out. There's a lot of debris all over, right? You have automobiles going around all the time, 24/7, exhaust fumes everywhere, gas stations, right? It's kind of similar to like what the medical medium has been sharing. There's toxins, there's metals, there's debris, there's poisons, there's pollutants, and we're putting it into our body every single day, and it's getting harsh, right? So this is, again, what's going to, over time, cause a lot of calcification, toxicity in the brain, toxicity in the organs, in the body altogether. We're cleaning it out. So I still absolutely recommend the Medical Medium's Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, right? That really helps. I've used it many times, and I've definitely felt a difference with it. Drinking hydrogen water, okay? That's what this is. Hydrogen water, getting a hydrogen water thermos. Okay, you can get them on Amazon. They're a little pricey, but they're worth it, right? That hydrogen water goes deep, and it acts as a cleanser and it's helping to flush you out, right? Working with lemon water is really good. Like, I'm not a dietitian or a herbalist in that way, but you know, there's a few things I've tried and it works really, really great. So look with the heavy metal detox smoothie, look with hydrogen water, lemon water, right? Bringing all of those natural components into the body and flushing out all of that debris. Okay, meditation also works great with it. Thank you, Clear Mind. Okay, guys, I think we're going to take about 3 or 4 more questions and we're going to wrap up. Okay. So I'm just looking for some other questions here. Okay, I'm trying not to answer repeat questions because there's kind of a lot of repetitive questions that come here each week, right? And I'm trying not to see if we can find a little bit more unique questions, guys. Like if you've already followed my videos, some of you are just asking the same questions again, and you know that you can find the answer in previous episodes of New Earth TV Live. Okay, look at the previous episodes of these things. Sometimes I put the contents in it about what's there. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't have the time. If any of you ever want to just contribute some time and go through the New Earth TV Live and just say, here's the contents, like at 3 minutes there's this topic, at 7 minutes there's this topic. If any of you want to do that voluntarily, that helps me out big time, because I'm not always able to do that. When I have some free time, sometimes I do, but I'm not always able to put the timestamp contents on these videos. So if you guys can do that for me, that would be a big help. That just helps a lot. Okay. Son of Superman says, I have a question about sunburns. What causes them? You have said in another video that there was a deeper meaning to them, but you never explained. I was wondering if you could explain they represent. Well, I'm not saying that you have to need to spend 8 hours a day in 30 degrees Celsius weather and thinking that you're not going to get burned. Of course you are. Right? Basically what I'm saying is that there's a fear for people who want to go out into the sun. They're afraid to go out in the sun for 10 minutes, right? A lot of them in that sense can be highly medicated, and their doctors will tell them, don't go out in the sun if you can, try to avoid it. If you can, try and cover up and don't go out into the sun. That's because a lot of the pharmaceuticals that they're putting into their body are basically toxic, right? And that they react to the idea of sunlight, right? Actually getting vitamin D in the body is actually what's creating a counteracting to that. So yeah, I'm not saying that you need to be some gung-ho iron-skinned dude, right? Going out and having to spend 8 hours in the sunshine. No. But I'm saying that you're just giving a general exposure to your skin. If you're out in the sun for 20 minutes, half an hour, that's great. The sun is not the problem. Like I said, guys, the sun does not have its own heat, and the sun does not have its own light. You guys know this from the True Nature of the Sun video. All right? It's sonoluminescence. It's all the toxicities, right? It's the toxicities in our body. What did I just talk about earlier regarding the medical medium detox smoothie? Okay? We're absorbing all of these toxins, all of these pollutants. We've had pharmaceutical drugs in our system. If we have not had pharmaceutical drugs in our system, we're getting, again, bad food, right? A lot of nasty food, even sometimes organic, right? Things that basically say organic on the package doesn't always mean organic, okay? They can have toxins in them as well, too. All of that debris comes into the body, right? And then when the fresh sunshine comes in, then this is where some people can have reactions. They can have rashes and stuff like that. And then they instantly blame it on the sun, right? It's not the sun's fault. It's a lot of the debris that we have in the body. If we're getting rashes, right? If we're getting severe burns just by being out in the sun for a few minutes, that again is a lot of the debris, a lot of the toxicity, a lot of the poisons that are in our body. We need to decontaminate the body. And then you'll notice that if you're going outside in the sun for about 20 minutes, half an hour, for example, you're not getting burnt, right? Your body's getting naturally tanned, okay? Everybody has this capability. Because, oh no, Brad, I'm naturally pale and I just go out and I just burn. Well, that's the problem. You got a lot of toxins in your body that are causing that to happen, right? Your skin, in that sense, may be in a very, very pale or weakened state, right? You're getting low vitality in your body. So your body gets low vitality. And as this low vitality continues, you'll notice that if you just go out in the sun for a few minutes, I just burn, right? I just burn. Toxins, debris in the body. So flush it out, right? So we work with heavy metal detox smoothie. We work with these other things that will help to cleanse the organs, cleansing it all out, especially if we've taken a lot of medications in the past, okay? If you have a lot of medications in the past, you really got to flush out your body, okay? My fiance does that well. She knows that she's had a lot of pharmaceutical drugs in her system in the past, and she's flushing it all out. So she's doing a bang-up job, right? And again, that's what we all have to do. For all of us, I've never touched pharmaceutical drugs, thank God. But I've certainly have touched toxic food and toxic debris, right? Coming in the body, pollutants. So we're just getting all of that debris out. That's the important thing, right? You also have to look at parasites, okay? Bugs, invaders that come in the body as well too. We got to flush them out. Look into the medical medium. He knows what he's talking about, okay? Look into that stuff. He's very helpful with that. So get his books, right? That's what I can suggest. Okay, let's just go down the list here a bit more. Okay, just give me a minute here, guys. I'm still just looking. Okay, here's a question from NM, because this actually isn't a question I have talked about recently, right? Brad, can you talk about spiritual bypassing, right? How not to fall into the trap when working on traumas and such. Well, again, a lot of that spiritual bypassing in that way, it comes from fear. A lot of it is fear in that sense, and saying, oh, don't invalidate me, or don't invalidate this, or invalidate, right? You get too much into the mind with all this spiritual bypassing, right? Basically thinking that you also feel like you're chiseled out of stone and that nothing can touch you, when inside you're actually feeling very vulnerable. So a lot of it is an appearance. It's keeping up appearances, right? Many can say, well, it's kind of narcissism in disguise. It's ego in disguise. Well, of course it is. If you work with the mind to try and heal the mind, you're going to have a hard time, right? Ramana Maharshi put it well. He says, trying to get the mind to kill the mind is like seeing the thief become the policeman, right? They'll disguise themselves as a policeman, and they will try to catch the thief, but all they're going to do is keep you running around in circles and nothing gets accomplished, right? So people get into the spiritual bypassing, right? They say, oh, it's ego, it's egotism, it's narcissism, etc. Well, the whole idea is not to get involved with it. Don't play with that game, right? The whole idea, like I said, is go to the direct source. Go to the direct path. Do not rely so much on the mind to think that you're going to try and heal the mind, or that you're, again, being untouchable. It's kind of like the old feeling, like, don't walk around like your crap don't stink. Right? So how not to fall in the trap is just don't get involved. Don't get involved with the stories, right? This is what I say when we're doing the healing, right? Don't get too attached to the stories. Just look at things as they are. We're not looking at the cause of things. Oh, I got all these migraines. What am I doing? Oh, it must be because I'm stressed out. It must be because it must be. That's the trap. Okay? Get out of the story. What I have learned through my healing journey these past 13 years is you don't need the story. Okay? You just need to acknowledge that what you have is here. Okay? It's all of your thoughts, it's all of your emotions, it's all of your intentions, it's all of your focus, it's all of your concentration on all of these events. It's like, again, if we're 7 years old, right, and we get into a very, very traumatic event, maybe we were yelled at, right? We were yelled at, we were disrespected. We're up in the room crying, and we feel so horrified by it that we basically push it down deep inside ourselves, and then a day or two later, the little girl's fine, right? But that has been kept trapped inside that little girl since she was 7 years old. Now here she is 25 years old, and those traumas of being insulted, of being ridiculed, of being hurt, are coming back to her again. Why is this happening again? Because you did not resolve the situation that allowed you to take a look at that trauma, and instead of dealing with it, you buried it down, right? You're 7 years old, you didn't know. That's okay. No one's blaming you for that. But rather than getting into the story, just acknowledge that it's there. It's okay. I feel like something happened when I was 7 years old, and this is why this is coming up. Okay, no problem. That's all I need to know. Now that we have that trauma there, we can shrink it down, and we can completely nullify it. We can neutralize it, right? It's exactly as I've been teaching you guys. BCR technique, right? Black ball, white ball, clarity technique. Okay, simple things like this can make such a difference. You're taking that trauma, right, like a heartbeat here, and now you're bringing in love, and now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And here's the trauma down here, and again, the love is bringing you all the way up here. And now that you're high on love so much, you look down at that thing and say, yep, gone, right? The love energy itself is encompassing that. The light is basically engulfing the darkness. because that love energy is there. And when anything comes up, you're able to dismiss it right away. By dismiss it, you're saying that I'm able to neutralize it. I'm able to eliminate it completely. I'm able to kill it, right? And that's what we're doing. We're killing all these things. We're eliminating all these things. It's no more different than taking an elixir, right? It's going into the body and it's killing parasites. It's killing bugs. It's killing bacteria. It's killing viruses. That's what it does. It's killing them, right? That's what you're doing with these old things. You're killing them, right? And therefore, as they're getting killed, the very essence of them, because there's always that spark of you within each and every one of these things, that spark is coming back into the love now, right? So it's like it's all crumbling away on the outside, and on the inside, that little spark that represents you goes back in. It's just the size of a particle, really. But it's going into that love. And now you're seeing all these things crumble away. Fear can never defeat love, guys. Okay? And again, I've lost count of how many times I've told you this. Right? When we're going past spiritual bypassing, which again is just a bunch of stories. That's all it is. It's a story. It's getting hooked on things. It's people think that they're high and mighty. They become narcissistic. They become blah, 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 blah. And they bypass everything. This doesn't have to happen to me because I'm enlightened and none of you are, and blah, blah. And it just turns into narcissism, right? And that's true. It does. But again, that's what happens when you get too attached to story and thinking that you're spiritually invulnerable when inside you're screaming, right? On the outside, you're like Superman, right? With that big, gigantic, mighty S on you in the red tights and the blue cowl and all that, right? The red cape, and thinking that you're invulnerable, but inside you're a fractured little child, right? So that, again, is the appearances. So like I said, how do you know to avoid those traps? You got to look with your heart, right? You got to look with your heart. You got to listen to your intuition, right? And you go past those people. Lord knows I've encountered many of them over my years. And I know many of us have as well too, right? So that's what you got to do, right? And like I said, work with love. Get high. Get high on love and see all of that debris below you vanish, disappear, eliminated. All right? Thank you, NM, for your question. Okay, let's go down here a bit more. Okay, let's go down a bit more. Okay. Jana, I got your question here about allowing more love into my life. I think I just answered that with the love energy, right? So that may have just been a question from a while back. Let me go back down here a bit more. Okay. Eliezer, yes, I got your question here. You just wrote, not really a question, just a statement. That picture someone posted on Facebook with a glass of bubbled water from the healing card compared to the other glass without it. Yeah. A lot of people won't know what you're talking about or what I'm talking about, but I do know what you're talking about. Okay. Basically what happened to everybody is I had a testimonial from a woman who is using the healing code cards. Right. So say, for example, she was using the parasite eliminator. Okay. She had her glass of water. She poured that glass of water. Now, what is my hand doing when I'm putting my hand here on this glass? Okay. All of that energy of myself is going into that water as soon as I'm touching it. So now I put the parasite eliminator here. Okay. And basically what happened with her, and her specifically, was that she left a card on the glass and bubbles started to happen. All of these bubbles came into the water because, again, here's the nature of the healing code cards, everybody. Okay, pass this information on, you guys, if people don't really know what the healing code card does. Okay, these are reflectors. That's what they do. It is taking your own energy, right? If I'm looking at this card right now, all of my energy is going directly into the card. All of my focused energy, all of my intention is going into this card. Okay? That energy is now being reprogrammed through all of the codes that are contained inside the card and being reflected back to you. Do you see what we did with the realignment method? Okay, with thought alignment, where you know where you're making that big ball, okay, and you're putting all of this intention into it, and I say, Spirit, send that command back to them. That is very similar to what's happening with these cards. Now, these cards have specific spirit programs contained within them, right? So basically a parasite eliminator is eliminating a whole list of parasites, okay? So it's taking all of your focused intent that you're putting to the card and it's reflecting back to you. The same thing with the capture method. If you're putting your photo down upon that, that's your energy, right? The energy knows that photo is there, and now it's just sending that energy with everything that's contained inside that photo to that person, okay? So it doesn't mean you have to hardly concentrate on this thing. You're just giving it your soft gaze, right? So being able to do the gaze method, the gazing, right? Where I'm just looking at this card for 60 seconds. I'm not doing this or anything of that nature, right? It has my attention. All of that energy is focusing back upon me. So as long as I'm bringing my focus there, then that energy is coming back to me. If I'm touching my water glass, okay, and I'm putting the card right here, for that woman in specifically, she saw the bubbles come up because that's the energetic reaction that she got pertaining to her energy and the card itself. The card, again, was just reflecting that energy back into the glass with the energy that she has put into the glass, okay? Because you're pouring the water, you're touching the glass. All of that energy is instantly going into it. It's electrophotonic emissions, right? You're taking the card and you're putting it there, and that's basically what she was able to do. That's just her energy. Doesn't mean all of you guys are going to see bubbles, right? Some of you have. I've had emails saying, Brad, I've put the healing code cards on my water, and I saw all these bubbles coming up. It was really, really amazing. Then I tasted the water, and it tasted really sweet. Great. That's your own energy being reflected back to you, okay? This is not someone else's energy, okay? What I'm putting into the cards is spirit commands. Spirit has no form. Spirit has no body. Spirit has no image. Spirit is not an object, okay? This is your own energy being reflected back to you as soon as you are focusing on it. When you bring your attention to it, when you're putting it by a glass of water, when you're putting it on your body, when you're doing the capture method, putting the photo down there, because that's your energy of the photo, that's your hologram. That's going back towards you. It's, again, just shining that energy of the spirit code commands contained in here back to you. That is the science of the healing code cards, okay? That's how they work. So there's programs inside that. So it's like looking at a very special kind of mirror, right? And that mirror just has all these programs contained inside it. And as soon as you look into that mirror, it reflects back. What I could do, guys, is I could come to your house and I could put all of the healing code cards in your bathroom mirror. And I could apply them in your mirror. And every time you look at the mirror, those healing codes come right to you. I could do that. Maybe I should make that as a service. Brad will come to your house and start putting healing codes directly into your mirror. So as you look into that mirror, all of that reflects back to you. Maybe that's another business plan of mine. But nonetheless, it's the same principle, okay? Those cards, the beautiful images upon them, are acting as an energetic mirror. And they are contained, they are imbued with all of these codes that are helping to rejuvenate the body. It's just being reflected back. It's your own energy being reflected back to yourself, okay? With those program codes coming into your body. And they work subtly. Okay, some people think, because I've had people giving me refunds, saying, oh, Brad, this doesn't work. It doesn't work. These codes, these cards, they don't work. How long were you using? Oh, I used it one time, and that was it. No, man. No. This is subtle energy, all right? This is not coming at you with a bazooka blast. You know, it's not a supernova explosion, like shooting a gigantic laser beam, melting your face off, okay? That's not how these work. This is subtle energy, okay? You're working with this, and I'd say give it at least a month, man, right? Work with it full time for at least a month and give it a chance, for God's sakes. Right? It's not about feeling that you're just going to look at it one time and it better heal every friggin' thing I have. Okay? No, that is not what the healing code cards, and I do not make that claim in any particular way. When a person has been able to have a pretty close instantaneous effect, it's because their energy itself is so ripe. Their energy itself is so pure. And it comes right back to them, and they feel it, right? As soon as some person can pick this right up, and they get blasted away by, holy crap, right? Guess what they're going holy crap to? Their own energy. It's your own energy that's being reflected. This has no projection energy of its own. It's yours. Holy shit. That's your energy. That is your own energy. That is your own focus being reflected back to you. It's like the pyramids. When you go inside a pyramid, you feel this amazing amplification of energy. Okay, there's a pyramid in Kelowna, BC that I've gone to. And I get that bliss hit every single time I step into it. Is it some other energy that's coming in and giving me this blast? Hell no. It is me. It's taking my energy and it's majorly skyrocketing it. It's major amplification. And that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that major burst of my own energy being amplified by a device like a pyramid. All right? That's all this is doing. This is being a living mirror. It's reflecting that energy back to you. Your energy is what you're feeling. Okay? It's your own energy. So there are some people who have very, very low vital energy. And what I would tell them is that I want you to incorporate meditation into your practice so that you're stepping up your vital energies. Eat well. Take good care of yourself. Work with the BCRTC technique. Work with the clarity technique. Work with Lester Levinson's release technique. And clear out a lot of that debris within your body. And as you do that, you're noticing that your vital body steps up. As your vital body steps up and you start looking at the healing code cards, you get blown away. Because it's your own energy. Your energy is the source that's hitting this, and it's bringing it back to you with those codes, right? So it's like a little loop-to-loop. Goes to this point, codes. Comes right back into you, codes brought back into your body. It is the ebb and the flow, okay? Please, everybody that hears this conversation now, pass this on to people that are wondering about the healing code cards, about how they work, what's their science. I have just explained it. Okay, so please pass that on. You begin doing me a huge favor. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, guys, we're going to take one more question, then we're going to wrap up. So I hope I gave a good discourse regarding to the science of the healing code cards. So a lot of people have been wondering about that. Okay, let me just go down a bit more. Just give me a minute here, guys. I'm still just looking. I won't count this as a question, but Marnie just asked, can I do more than one healing code card in a day? One at a time, of course. Yeah, of course. Like I said, you have to look at these cards and say, okay, I could do 2 or 3 a day, right? If I'm looking at all these cards simultaneously, right, like this, because I said it's your own energy, right? Okay, if I'm looking at these 3, yeah, got some upside down here. Okay, these 4 cards here. Okay, if I'm holding these 4 cards out, and if I'm being blasted by them, well, it's because I have so many reflected energies coming right back at me. My energy is being reflected back to this card, and that energy is being reflected back at me, right? So maybe that's too much for me to handle. Now, if I basically just pick up one card, the small intestine enhancer right here, and I look at that, okay, that's good. I feel good. Okay, if I pick up 2 cards, it's pretty intense, but yeah, I'm okay. I can handle it through. Okay, no. Whew. No. I can handle 2. Okay, that's how you know. So guys, pay attention to what I'm doing here, because this is how you're knowing, right? When you have the healing code cards here, there's 4 cards. No, man. Okay, 3s, still a little too much. 2, yes, I can do 2 at a time. That is how you know. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your heart. You have to listen to your intuition. You have to listen to yourself, okay? Listen to yourself. See exactly what are your limits. Don't try to push yourself if you're feeling too overwhelmed, right? Because again, that just hits you really, really hard and you can't really focus and you can't concentrate. And it might confuse you, right? You might just get a kind of a burnout as well too. It's your own energy, everybody, okay? There is no outside energy that represents the healing code cards at all. It's all your energy, okay? It's just those codes coming back to you and reflecting back to you, all right? Going down a bit more, looking for that last question. Okay. So I think we'll end with this question here from Consciously Lit, okay? When Adronis says we are on a honeycomb-shaped Earth, does that mean that the part of Earth that we are aware of is within just one small section of the honeycomb? No, no, no. The honeycomb Earth is the honeycomb Earth. Okay, guys, it's like looking at a soccer ball. All right? If you look at a soccer ball, you see its geometry, its hexagonal patterns contained upon the soccer ball. And the soccer ball has a little bit of a belly. And then if you inflate it, right, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a belly around that soccer ball. It's kind of like a small overinflated soccer ball. That is the Earth. Okay. Now, again, I cannot convince you guys of this because I can say this, and I've said this hundreds of times to people. Brad, is there a flat Earth? No. Oh, come on. What do you mean? What do you mean there's no flat Earth? Oh, all right, that's it. I'm going to get my boxing gloves on. I'm going to fight him. That's going to make a difference, right? No, there is no flat Earth. Okay. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but again, like I said, I'm saying this not because of my own personal belief, but because I've looked into this, right? You look inside yourself. The source of yourself is objective, okay? When you look at the self is completely impersonable, okay? It is completely permanent. It is changeless. It is impersonable. That is what I go into. When I'm going into the self, everything in regards to preconceived notions melts away. And what remains is the truth. And when I ask, Spirit tells me, no, Brad, the Earth is not flat. Look at it like a soccer ball, right? It's a little bit overinflated because the Earth has a bit of a belly around the equator, okay? When you look at the geometry of that soccer ball, right, you're able to take all the texture away. You will see the geometry of the hexahedron, or the hexagons, I should say. Hexagons, right? So it's like looking at a honeycomb, like a beehive, right? And you're seeing all the cells of the honeycomb as the beehive. That is the natural structure. That is the energetic structure. That is the geometry of the Earth, okay? Now, what's also important to understand is that some people just say, oh, we're just living on a planet. We're not. We're living in a realm, okay? There is a realm to this world. It's not just the idea of living on some floating ball in the middle of the cosmos. There is a realm to this, which means there is an intelligence to this realm. It is not just some realm that has absolutely no intelligence whatsoever, where it's just a physical body and that's it. To be in a realm is a realm of intelligence. It's a realm of intelligent design. Okay? So that is the nature. It's not about looking into, oh, that we're just in a portion of a honeycomb. That doesn't even make sense. No offense. But that doesn't even make sense, right? So as you're saying here, that we are aware of within just one small section of that honeycomb. No, we're not in a small section of a honeycomb. You're thinking of yourself too small. You are the entire universe. Okay, that is you. That is who you are. This is what God has given you, right? God has given you the ability to understand this entire universe, that you're existing into your entire universe, that you can have everything by giving everything up, right? When you feel like I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, you're limiting yourself, you're confining yourself, you're putting yourself in jail, you're imprisoning yourself. As soon as you think you need this and you need that, you need the other thing, and you need this to take care of this thing, you're constantly putting yourself in prison. When you let go of all these things, you're no longer forming any form of attachments. Your ego is dead. The mind is dissolving into a restful mind back into the heart. And now you know that you are everything. You are everything, but you are only ever going to feel that when you give everything up. It was Sri Papaji that actually told a young Muji, when he first came to see Papaji, giving him this letter and asking all these questions about basically trying to cut off the head of the snake of his ego, thinking that somebody else had to do it for him. One of the most profound things he said to that young Muji, right, was that if you want to see God appear, you must disappear. Guys, that is 100% truth. Okay, that's not a catchphrase. That is exactly what you have to do. You have to disappear so that God can appear in your place. Okay, I am not making that up. That is not a belief. You have to go inside to feel this for yourself, of course. But that is truth. And that is what basically caused Muji himself to break down. Like inside, he was even saying that inside he felt so much, all this stuff bubbling up. On the outside, he was like, oh, okay, right? But inside, he was bubbling up because he wasn't getting the answers he was expecting. And then a short time after, he basically had this feeling of no mind, no identity. I've been there too, and it is the most freeing state you can ever be. If you guys have not done self-inquiry, all right, then maybe you should look into the EQ method, because it's a lot more simpler and you will get it. It is so very important that you understand what it feels like to be in a no-mind state, right? And I don't care how much spiritual work you've done. I couldn't care less. If you have not been in that no-mind state, you don't even know what spirituality is. That is what it is. It is to be completely empty. It is to have no egoic mind like a squawk box talking to you like a little hand here, right? And then you turn to it, it's gone. Looking over here, okay? That's the ego. That's what it's doing. My head is turned this way. Ego's doing this. I look in its direction. The ego's gone. What happens if I stay in that direction, right? What happens if I stay basically in all directions? I go to the root of the mind, which is I, and I stay there. This doesn't exist anymore because this is an illusion. This is the greatest illusion we have ever experienced. This is the greatest virus we have ever experienced, because it is nothing more than a separate self. It's like a parasite. It's an entity. It's like an AI. But when you go to the root source of where that is coming from, of where you think that's coming from, right? The source of the mind, the I, you can't find it. It's like a phantom. It's like a ghost. It disappears when you seek for it, right? And now imagine that you stay there. And you stay in that state. You remain in that state. And that ego cannot come up. Guess what happens? All of the infrastructure pertaining to the ego, all of its identity, all of its thoughts, all of its patterns that it's been basically attempting to bestow upon you, vanishes. It gets eliminated. All right? If you really want to understand the spiritual journey, that is what you do. This is why I've had to make this change. This is why I'm not going to be channeling Adronis anymore, because it's not helping, right? It helps us to look at things intellectually. It helps us to look at the mind. And like I said, there's been some great things that have come about with it. I'm not blaming Adronis at all. This is just simply what he was here to do, was to basically tell me, I'm here for the mind so that you realize you don't need the mind anymore, right? And he understands. And so again, that channeling is part of the mind, and I'm retiring it. Akashic records are part of the mind, and I'm retiring it. Vedic astrology is part of the mind, and I'm retiring it, right? So all of that is going. And again, it's that very phrase that Papaji said to Muji: if you want God to appear, you must disappear, right? And again, everybody tries to go to God through the mind. Can't do it. You cannot do it. I'm going to go to the self through the mind. You can't. Right? You have to know what it is to be in silence. You have to know that feeling of what it is to be in no mind. I felt it, and believe me, it's the most beautiful thing. This is why I said when June 2nd, when that happened, it's the most beautiful moment of my life. Absolutely no mind. And I went right to the self. And it's the most remarkable thing. Some people feel it through psychedelics as well too. They take mushrooms, right? They go on LSD, etc. And they see it there as well too, right? But this is not about having to have a reliance on psychedelics, because they're just simple teachers. You're not meant to have that all the time. It's just they're taking you on a tour, saying, here it is what it's like to be still. Everything is quiet. Everything is bliss. Everything is free. Everything is you, because you are the self, right? That is the true spiritual nature. That is the true point, okay? Everything you're doing, if it is not leading to that, then you're just walking around in circles. And you're not really doing anything. But playing with a mind and trying to defeat a mind by playing with a mind. The thief being the policeman. And telling you it's going to try and catch it, and it doesn't. And you walk around in circles. I'm telling you this, guys, because this is what you're going to expect to see from me after September, right, is teachings that help to still the mind. And this is why I have not really done those teachings yet, because I'm saving it for September, right? So we're going to play around with the mind here a little bit more. And like I said, I don't mind asking questions. I don't mind receiving questions about the mind and bringing answers to the mind. Of course, that's how we learn, right? We work with the mind, right? Some people may still ask me questions after August 31st about channeling. I'll be happy to answer them, right? There'll still be questions about the mind, about their emotions. I'll be happy to answer them. That's why I'm here. I'm not just going to focus just on the idea of the direct path for you guys. I'm going to come down to the level with the mind and say, okay, here's this, strip it away. What do you feel, right? And now you start lifting yourself up. This is the true spiritual journey. This is the true nature of spirit itself, is to be nothing. And then when you are nothing, you are everything. That's the paradox, right? As long as you're confined to something, that's going to continue to haunt you throughout your life, cycle after cycle, right? You think you may get rid of it, but now something triggers it again, and now you're blowing it up again. What happens? It's back in the front of your doorstep again, because you have not been able to harmonize it. So the way to harmonize this thing is to eliminate it, is to exterminate it, is to kill it, right? And that's what you're doing with the BCR technique, right? All that love energy is coming in, but we have to maintain that. We have to maintain that love energy and keeping it there. But now you have all this love energy, so what do? You have positive energy. Guess what you have to do with the positive energy as well, too? You have to neutralize that as well. You got to neutralize your positive energy. You are not being negative. You are not being positive. You are being is. You are the isness in between the two. So you got to release the positive energy once the negative energy is cleared. It's like the medicine, right? Once you've taken medicine for a condition and you've already been able to eliminate that condition, do I need to keep taking that elixir every single day? No, I don't. It's finished. I got to put it aside. I'm done with it. So now that I come into the silver lining, I come into the balance point. And that's the idea. We are not positive. We are not negative. We are. And that, again, is what the teachings ahead, post August 31st, are going to be focused on this channel. Still sharing you guys' mind. Still teaching you guys about these things, but telling them how to strip it away. And that's what the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to resolve around too. It's going to resolve these ideas about attaching to the mind, having to focus. I mean, look at you guys who have been doing this way longer than I have, right? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I've had people who have been following the spiritual path for like over 50 years, and they still come to me because they don't get it. I don't get what I'm supposed to do here, right? I've been following this path now, Brad, for 50 years, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, right? And I tell them, you have to let go of all these that was it. I have to let go of these concepts. I have to dissolve the mind. Oh. And then they start doing it. And they come back and say, Brad, you're right. I dissolved all these things. I cleared them away. They were eliminated. Now I feel better. I can't believe it took me 50 years to learn that. Well, sometimes it does. It took me 13 years to learn to go into the direct path. And that is my kind of full circle that's leading me here now. And some of you who are already watching this already know what I'm talking about, right? And it's good that if you already know what I'm talking about, you're helping people realize this as well too. What I'm teaching you guys is not new. It's ancient, but it's just returning because we've forgotten it. All right? So again, Consciously Lit, thank you for your question. Thank you everybody for your question today. Had a pretty long broadcast. So again, I will see you all this Sunday. Okay, so this Sunday, the Adronis event. This is the second to last Adronis event that is happening. All right. There will be another one at the end of August. It'll be called Adronis Final Transmission, but I'll be bringing that up a little bit later on, next few days. So Adronis Q&A Forum, episode number 3, Sunday, July 25th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, $4.99 registration. Register on Zoom at newearthteachings.com. See this poster, click on the poster. You'll go to the registration page, and you can sign up. All right, it's going to be a really exciting event. Like I said, you can bring in personal or general questions to the Q&A forum. All right. Thank you guys for being a part of this broadcast today. And I will see you again Sunday. And I'll see you again next Friday for Empathic Interfacing Live with Athena and Language of Light Transmission with Rayar. Take care, and may it be well with you. Goodbye. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to check out my websites, newearthteachings.com, healingcodecards.com, healingcodeshop.com. Go on to healingcodecards.com to grab your body deck and your mind deck, also available in digital versions as well. And of course, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, on MeWe, and of course on Telegram as well. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Take care and show the way.